Hi guys, it's me again, just in time for Halloween. So, Halloween is right around the corner. Some of you guys are probably deciding, what am I gonna be for Halloween? Well, I do have a spooky skull face paint that I'm about to show you guys. That'll bring some spook right back into your Halloween costume. Let's get started. First, we're gonna need to gather our supplies. Starting with brushes, you're gonna need a blush brush, a foundation brush, a dense eyeshadow brush, and a detail brush. You will need some cleaning wipes. You will also need a brown eyeliner pencil, a black eyeliner pencil and an eyeliner pot, a black face paint pot, and a black liquid eyeliner. You'll need a white face paint, and then a white eyeshadow, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, a black eyeshadow. Now that we have all our supplies, let's get started. I do have half of my face cleaned off of makeup, so I'm going to be doing this side of my face as a skull. You will take your brown eyeliner pencil, and I'm just going to draw a line down half of my face, much like this. Now that we have our line drawn, taking that same brown eyeliner pencil, you will be drawing out the features of your face. As you can see, I've drawn out my eye socket, my cheekbone, where my jaw is going to sit, and my nasal bone. Next, we will be taking our white paint and our foundation brush and covering this entire area, trying not to go too dark over our lines and not invade in our eye socket space too much. I'll be taking the paint and just applying it directly to the brush and then onto my face. Once you have half your face painted nice and white, we will be taking our blush brush and our white eyeshadow and just patting it over to prevent any smearage and get any extra coverage that we'll need. Now that we have all that color set down, we will be going in with our eyeliner pot, and I usually just take my finger and we will be filling in our eye socket. Your finger will get a little bit of the black makeup on it, and don't be afraid to go outside of your lines a little bit, as we will be going in and cleaning this up later. I will be using my wet wipe just to wipe off my fingers to prevent any smearage and color transfer. Next, I will be taking my black eyeliner pencil and going in on my nose and filling that in. Now that we have our nose filled in, I will be going in and doing some of the face details, including my cheekbone and my jaw. Now that these lines are drawn, I can go in with my black liquid eyeliner and finish some of the finer detailing work on this, including the teeth and straightening out some of the lines on my nose. For the teeth, I would also like to note that I will just be drawing some lines in little segments along this line and along my lips. And then I will go in later and shade that in. I just repeat that process all the way along this line onto my cheek. Now that we are starting to look a little bit more like a skull, I will be going in and doing a little bit of shading along my cheekbone with my dense eyeshadow brush and my black eyeshadow. Now that that shading is done, we have a cheekbone cut out. I will be going in and taking the same brush and the same black eyeshadow and setting down a lot of that black in my eye and on my nose. And setting it down, I'm just taking the eyeshadow on the brush and patting it throughout the area, making it so it doesn't smear as bad. Once me patting that color down is complete, I will be taking my detail brush and my black eyeshadow and going through and doing a little bit of shading along these teeth to make them look a little more like teeth rather than just lines drawn on my face. For the tooth shading process, I am just taking some black eyeshadow onto this brush and dabbing it along the jawline to give it a little bit more shape than the rectangle I had before, as I'm showing now. And as you can see, that does make the line look a lot thicker, but the teeth actually do look a bit more like teeth rather than just some lines that I drew. Coming up on the lip area, do not be afraid to put it onto your lips directly just to change the shape of that a little bit. As you can see, my lines did get a little thicker, so I don't have as much shading to do along my lips. Also, as a tip, when you're doing your lips, do not go against the lines on them, actually follow along with the lines. That does make the whole color transferring from the brush to the skin process a lot easier than going against it. As you can see, that did make quite a bit of difference, especially up on my lips, as my bottom lip did eat most of my lines. Now I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to clean up this line around my eye socket and a little bit around my nose with my white paint and my foundation brush once again. And when I am cleaning up, I do only like to use a little bit on the edge of my brush. This just makes it a lot easier for me to handle and a lot less for my skin to deal with smearing and putting everywhere. And around the eye, it is a little more difficult to clean up since that skin is so mobile. Just do the best you can. We're not all going to end up looking the same, as our faces do have a lot different structures. And I just went around feeling for my cheekbone along with looking at reference pictures. So depending on your reference picture along with your own structure, your skull is going to look a little bit different. And there is the skull half of our face. I will be going in and adding a little bit more detail on this side of my face so it looks like it did crack a little bit, making the look altogether a little bit more spookier than I have it right now. First off, taking my black eyeshadow brush, I will be cleaning the black eyeshadow out of the brush just by running it along in my makeup wipe that I have been using. And then I will be taking some brown eyeshadow, which is just an excess, this is all optional. And I will be adding a little bit of shading around on my skin, and then I will be taking a red and adding a little bit more shading to make it look a little bit irritated, like my skin peeled away. And I am just taking that brown eyeshadow and leaving a little bit of space between the line itself that I am adding and the line that I drew previously. And then I will be taking my red from my palette. I do prefer to use the brighter red, and I will just go in along that little gap that I left and fill that in. And that'll just like this. This does look a little bit more irritated, and then I will blend that out a little more once I have this all filled in. Then, taking my blush brush, I will just go in and blend that out a little bit, making it look like my skin is irritated around the skull area. Please note, I did not do much on my undernose just because nobody is going to be seeing it, and I'm really not worried about getting on my undernose. But there you have it. This will be your skull look, and hopefully I inspired a Halloween costume for you. Thank you, guys.